All right, everyone. I know that I talked about the Elon Musk-Trump discussion on Twitter earlier, but Trump has returned to the platform. Technically now it's X instead of Twitter, but I'm just going to keep calling it Twitter because I'm showing my age here. His return to Twitter has been pretty fucking triumphant. If you look at the kind of campaign ads that he's cutting, and he's been putting them out there, some of them are paid and promoted. A few of them I think aren't. And so they're on his timeline. Aren't these on a different level than what we've seen from the Democrats recently? His campaign team is just better. His campaign team is just better at getting the message out. And you have the feel of like, you're part of a group, patriotism and all of these things, which is technically sloganeering. Technically speaking, it's political propaganda. Full admission here. He's engaging in the same behavior as the average politician. But the skill that's involved with making those ads, and the fact that he's back and basically broke Twitter temporarily actually last night, is a testament to the staying power, I think, of MAGA. When I look at it, I think of Kamala as a flash in the pan. Like she's having a few good weeks and then she sort of peters out. I have a feeling that she's going to end up having that happen, especially after the September debate that Trump has agreed to. He will be on the ABC debate. He's trying to go beyond that and challenge her to two more. Whether or not the Kamala Harris campaign continues to try to hide her because she's a psychopath or agrees to it and says and then sweats nervously remains, of course, to be seen. I would say it's a relatively triumphant return. Under the terms of Truth Social, where Trump is invested, things directly related to the presidential campaign, I believe he's allowed to actually post on Twitter first. I think he's doing cross-posting at the moment. I think that's a good idea. And a lot of us had said that for a very long time. Donald, you need to get back on Twitter. This is your forte. The mean tweet thing is what generates attention. It generates energy. You need to meme it up. And I hope that he posts more memes because he's posted several the other day. There was one ad there. Oh God, it was funny. I retweeted it on Twitter. You can just go to Real Donald Trump over on X. Link in the description. I won't archive it because I actually want you to follow Donald Trump. Boost his numbers and engagement a little bit. Now, one of them, it shows Kamala Harris sort of in her own words. And she's going through a litany of things that she suggests are a good idea, usually when being pressed by members of the press that are a little bit more honest than the average. And it's like banning plastic straws. Okay, well, I don't want sea turtles to die. By the way, go to Webster's Wares. You can get metal straws. You can use them indefinitely. It's probably better for the environment, admittedly. I don't want to ban them. I just want to educate the public on preferably you don't use the plastic straws, if that makes any sense. I believe in voluntarism in that sense. It's like, this is bad for you. If you choose to do it, that's your choice. But it's fucking shitty and you shouldn't do it. I believe in educating people. A smarter populace, of course, is a healthier populace, a more well-armed populace, certainly, and one that is generally better than one that's kept ignorant. Unless you want to keep them ignorant to control them, like Kamala Harris wants to do. Trump has been actually talking, one of these campaign ads is just sloganeering. It's, I think, the most recent one that he posted. It's like he's making the soaring speech thing, and he did a good job at it, by the way. But it doesn't really have policy positions. But he's also exposing Kamala and her policy positions that otherwise people wouldn't even fucking know. Like, hey, yeah, I think that it's a great idea to empty out the detention centers on the southern border. I think that it's a great idea to confiscate everyone's assault weapons, so-called. I realize that that's not really a proper moniker, but we're going to use the colloquial. Get her on the issues. That's basically all Trump has to do. Take her on record, expose her to the public because she's trying to hide, etc., etc. I've mentioned this before. I think that Trump's return to Twitter is very important. I think that if he had chosen to not return to Twitter, the problem is a lot of networks won't cover his rallies, for example. And so while everyone knows who Trump is, They don't know about his Agenda 47. They don't know much about it because the average person, honestly, doesn't use Rumble. I'll be uploading this to Rumble, for example. I like the platform. I think it's great. I'm working with Rumble. I've talked to some of the people that are higher ups at Rumble. Think it's a great site. New tech is where it's at. But the average person is not using Rumble. If they're getting video material, they're using YouTube. What you have to do, therefore, is pick a mainline platform. In Trump's case, it's Twitter, which, again, is his forte. And he's putting his material there. Therefore, it gets more exposure. What I would like to see him do, especially with the tech thing, censorship and free expression are a big deal on Twitter. Elon Musk right now is literally thumbing his nose at the European Union, for example, for saying, oh, you need to live fact check and block out any disinformation that Trump spews. Rule that they've never applied to literally any other fucking political figure in the entire history of the EU. Very, very telling. And Elon Musk is doing that. Right now, people on Twitter are primed to discuss, therefore, censorship, free expression, things like that. Take your Agenda 47 video, the very first one about tech, about Section 230 and stuff like that, post it on your Twitter page. Yeah, but it was bootstrap it in there. That's what I think that Donald Trump needs to do. That's the sort of note that he needs to hit. I'm going to protect your ability to speak. I may not like what you have to say, but if you want to jeer at me, that's perfectly fine. The other side is right now fighting in favor of censorship, European style, or even Chinese style. I think that the average American would probably prefer the former. Look at taxes, for example. Trump has explained his tax proposals. Vance has elaborated on them, by the way, over the last 48 hours, saying he wants to double the child tax credit. There are a lot of Americans with kids. If you tell them that you're going to double the child tax credit, and Trump should come out and confirm that he agrees with Vance, by the way, on this, you will undermine the Democrats bigly. But people need to know that you've actually made that proposal because they're not seeing it if they're watching CNN. They're not seeing it if they watch Joy Reid. They don't know that you've made that proposal. There are people out there that legitimately think that Kamala Harris is a genius for suggesting that you shouldn't have taxes on tips right now. Now, if you read legitimate news sites, or if you do what I do and you do this for a living and you use aggregators and shit, you know, of course, Donald Trump had suggested that some time ago and Kamala Harris is ripping him off. But the average American doesn't necessarily have time to encapsulate very much information. It's like, why do you think TikTok is a thing with like 30-second shorts? God, even YouTube videos, one-offs like this one, are beyond the average person's ability to absorb. Unless they're part of your core audience or something, and it's no fault of theirs. Of course, they might not have time in the day. They've got work to do and shit like that. You need to encapsulate it in an irreducible form as quickly as possible. So a meme, an image, not even a video. If it's a video, it should be less than 30 seconds. Trump is very good at doing this, and the people around him appear to be competent as well. So I don't really worry. People are saying Kamala is inevitable. I don't think so. It's just that Donald Trump has a little further to go, but he's making great strides towards it, and his return to Twitter is a big part of it. That's about all. Peace out.